So, okay, my mouse is out of the way. Yoshi. This isn't going to be terribly difficult. What we're going to start with is, let's do our normal blue. And I just wanted to get where his body is going to be, because his body pretty much dictates the rest of where he goes. So we'll sketch out this tail. It's almost like I'm gonna actually try to do this as shapes. So we have this crescent, which represents his tail. He has this shell, which is a half circle, and it just has this lip. It's weird that he has a shell. What's even weirder is that he has a shell and Mario rides on his back. Has anyone not like thought about how weird that is? I think I made the shell too small and I put it in the wrong place. So let's undo all this. Because technically I have like enough RAM in this computer to like launch a spaceship. I should probably tell this to like be able to save unlimited undos. Alright, so this is really going to start coming up this way, which will represent his neck. And his tush and his bottom are going to come out like that. Now, see, this is as stupid as this glove is. It one, it's like super slippery, but on top of being slippery, it's helping me not be nervous about resting my hand on the screen. All right, so we got the shell. We got one leg that starts out here, which goes into a boot. Another very weird thing. Right, so we go leg, boot, and his boot actually like comes up here and curves back up to about here, and there's a little top to it. And his foot just curves all the way back up into this, and we get that becomes his shoe. Alright, so we got that going. He's got another foot that comes out here, which is just going to be this part of the boot. And this stomach has to come down more. He's definitely a little plump around the middle. So I'll have this foot come out, and his heel is coming up. Choose something like this. Alright, so there's that. Then this comes up here. This line comes out a little bit more, and we get his arm. His arm might actually be down a little bit more. So his arm's going to come into here. Oops. which bends this way into his hand. There's not much I actually have to draw of his hands. He's got a very big hand, by the way. Alright, so we got that. And then we start getting into the parts that make up his face. Basically, he's just one big nose. So let's get this big nose out of the way. And then we have two eyes that come out. We have his eyelids here. Eyelid. Now this eyelid actually comes down into his face, which gives you this like rounded eye. His nose, the bridge of his nose comes out, and we get a much fuller eye here. Get that nose coming in, and he has this cheek that will come down, and then right below here is going to be his mouth. But it really isn't even like we don't get a sense of his mouth here because of where where it is. It's just right below. No, you know what? That looks like crap. No, that looks like crap too. All right, we'll tighten that up in post. And he's got his cheek. His cheek comes out to here. We get this like strip of green that represents the rest of his head, and you don't really see much more. It's just the angle, we have him on. Well, what I can tell you is that I hate it already. Let's see if we can tighten him up a little bit before we go into inking. We will probably make his eyes come out like this. All right. I want to bring this cheek in a little bit more. So one thing I want to do is his head. Oops. His head's a little off. Ah, I hate when I do that. I like hit the button. I'm just going to move his head over a little bit. Why did that go away? So we'll move his head to about here. which will fix some of this. Whoops, why is it like flickering all over the place? Oh my god, is this annoying. Cool. Every time I move it to where I want to move it, it just freaks out with the pen, and I don't know why. Alright, so the other thing that I saw, I just have like a little bit of an angle, is I don't know, we get these, his eye comes in here. I have like a little bit of a gap. Bring this in. Alright, so that's enough of Yoshi. I think we got the basics of him in place. And that should be good enough. I mean, the other thing is he has his arm on the other side, but I'm not going to draw that because it's going to be too weird with the inking. So, okay. You know what? I know why it's so, I was like wondering why it was so strong. I was using the marker. I should have used the pencil. Okay, we'll remember that for the next time. Let's lock this layer and oops. Let's change its opacity to something like this. And then I'm going to come in here and we'll just set this to black. And we're going to get started. I'm going to start with the shell. Helps if I'm on the right layer. I feel like I want to make that this line a little thicker. Yeah, let's all right, there we go. I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time tonight tightening this up. I'm going to do some stuff here just to keep it clean looking, but for the most part, I want to go to sleep. And also, my kids just like coloring this stuff in, so these aren't like really. This isn't really anything terribly like having to be perfect. Awesome line. One thing I've noticed is that Sketchbook Pro just hates me trying to zoom in and out. I sort of want this to be rounded at the end. We'll just have this come in here. That should be a little bit cleaner. Alright, so got that. Whoa, what's weird is that that's not good. That's the tip of my finger is triggering drawing, which is what the stupid glove is supposed to avoid me doing. So I'm wearing a stupid glove, and it's still whatever. Okay. So cranky when I'm just sick and tired. All right, let's finish this up. I mean, luckily, he's just so many simple shapes. All right, so just keep roughing this stuff out here. All right, get that. That didn't work out right. And this is a terrible, terrible foot. Unfortunately, I'm not feeling it right now. Alright, so let's get this arm in here. And try to get this curve in here. And his hand is, again, pretty easy. So I'll just give it a little bit more curve than I think I had before, just so it looks a little paw-like. Let's match that up there a little bit better. It is really hard to match up these strokes. But I just gotta sit down and like take my time doing it and not rush through it. And I can get it. So far, the most fun I've had has been drawing the Calvin and Hobbes stuff. Those were a lot of fun. I want to do more of those. Let's see, what else are we doing here? we're like losing the curve. So we'll have to, gonna have to go to all these points where we matched up the lines and just try to get them to feel a little bit more consistent, like this was really one stroke. There's this other program I have that lets you draw, and like no matter how you zoom in, it's like it always looks perfect. This does get like really blurry here, right? All right. I wish you would stop doing that. No, stop. It's like just drawing these lines anywhere it feels like it. Alright, so almost done. Just gotta connect up the last of these lines. Alright, so, yeah, it should be. Those are his two nostrils. And do his eyes meet sort of at the same area? So let's do this. Whoops. How do I want to do this? Upside down. See, like it doesn't have that curve. Whoops. Then we'll just have this eye from here come in over like this. And then around here we just have this. It looks sort of weird, but it's really where his he has this like banding around his, where the white of his bottom jaw goes. Yeah, I don't like tighten this up here. Basically what I want is I want these eyes coming out at roughly the same point. Yeah, alright, we'll leave it as that. And let's just do the pupils, and then we're done. He has a very unique eye. Alright, so first off, he has his pupil. Then he has this. Oh, did I really screw that one up? I wasn't terribly off. And then this part comes into here. And there we go. So I'm just going to make this black so that it has some definition. And then they can color in the main eye. Like right now the inside and the outside are blue, so they can just do that whatever they want, whatever color. We have like the yarn Yoshi now, and it's like there's, you know, a million different variations you can give these Yoshis. Alright, so same thing here. I'm just going to do this as one big stroke. It's like too close to where I want it, but it's fine. It'll work out. It looks a lot worse when you're zoomed in, I've noticed lately. Here we go. Yoshi.